The following is brought to you drained of living color.
During his long career at News Channel 9, Mike Price created a lot of good news and a lot of great memories for Central New York. But even after 46 years on the air, Halloween will always remind fans of some of his earliest work. From the first days of colorful Channel 9, when Mike Price brought life to the coolest ghoul in town, the legendary Baron Deon.
Good evening. A good ghoul evening to you. So once again, we bring you the Saturday Hollywood special here on colorful Channel 9.
Look too closely, and the special effects will unravel just like the drop cloth they used for a cape. But if you grew up in Central New York, you might see a little bit of your childhood.
I'm not a vampire, but I used to play one on TV. I'm Mike Price, and some of you may be the cultured youth that came around in the afternoon to watch the Baron and his buddies. Or perhaps your parents allowed you to stay up late to see the Hollywood special. You know, Baron Deon has become somewhat of a legend here in our area. It was a bloody good show, if I do say so myself. But that was a long time ago.
The Baron arrived at Halloween 1962, just after Channel 9 signed on the air. At first, he hosted late-night movies on the weekends. The tapes were used over and over again to save money, so there's really not much left. This scene from one of the very first weeks was saved on an old blooper reel.
Have you ever noticed that in these old, slightly haunted houses, that the pictures are so lifelike that they seem to reach right out at you? No. That's the clothes.
And I said, oh, excuse me. I said, I've got an idea. I said, I can do a fairly decent imitation of the way Bela Lugosi did Dracula, Count Dracula. And I said, maybe you could have some sort of a ghoulish host during the commercial breaks, and we could do some skits and have some fun with that. So a couple of days later, they came back to me and they said, yeah, let's try that, and we'll do it tomorrow night.
Almost that quickly, the Baron became a hit. They increased the budget enough to buy a real cape. The makeup evolved, and the Baron took off. Then the complaints started. The movies didn't come on until late at night, and parents couldn't get their kids to bed until they saw the Baron, little kids. So station management spun their late-night movie host into an afternoon kids show.
The whole idea, the whole premise was to be a ghoulish host, but not to frighten anybody, really, but to be a comedic host, sort of like a clown in a vampire suit. And it seems that both kids and adults liked it. Our range of audience was from kids 4 or 5 years of age, preschoolers, up to adults that remember those old movies, and they enjoyed that sort of slapstick humor that we did.
For the next few years, Baron Deon was the hottest ticket in town. He opened supermarkets, he haunted sock hops, and every afternoon from 4 to 5, he captured the biggest audience in Central New York television, viewers of all ages. Bruce Koval has sold over 16 million science fiction and fantasy books for kids worldwide. He says the Baron's frightful fun was a real inspiration.
He was spooky and funny at the same time. And he was so goofy with that great bloody buddies accent that it was very easy to imitate because it was so broad. And my memory is of everybody in the school walking around saying bloody buddies at least once a day, probably 10 times a day when he was at his peak.
You know, he was always doing, it was always this hand washing, you know. Hello, kids. Welcome once again. Today we have something really good. Oh, look, it's very hairy. Come here, very. Just this character that he invented was just terrific. And as I say, kids were just grilled to the TV, you know.
My wife once introduced me to a friend of hers who had been in town for a while, and she said, my husband used to be very hairy, and she looked at me and said, well, he still is, because of all the hair on my face. She had no idea who the character was.
After he finished building props, staff artist Dennis Calkins pulled on a rubber Halloween mask and floppy hat and became very hairy, the Baron's silent sidekick.
As a sidekick, if he couldn't think of anything else to do, he'd kick me in the side, and it was supposed to be funny, and we'd fall down.
Floor manager Bill Eady wrote most of the skits and played many characters. That's him over the mantel. He often joined Mike on personal appearances all over the region, including the time they visited psychiatric patients in Utica.
Anyway, they put us in a padded cell to change. And I said, Mike, maybe we can't get out of here, and we couldn't. It was locked, and they'd forgotten us. So Mike leaned his head out the window and said, would you be able to, people pulling in their cars, would you be able to get us out of here? He said, we've been locked up here. And he said, I'm Baron Deon from Syracuse and Channel 9. And they went, sure you are.
Tonight, we'll look back at the Baron and his bloody buddies. We've dug up some clips that haven't aired since the early 1960s. And we have a world premiere music video of the best-selling record ever released in Central New York, the Transylvania Twist.
I'm not an old lady. And I'm not a weakling. Nor am I a vampire with a cold. I drink blood, a lot of tea because I like it.
Really taped it together, didn't you?
Different and exciting WNYS television.
Before colorful Channel 9 signed on the air in 1962, Central New York had just 2 TV stations. ABC network shows wouldn't air here unless they were tacked onto the other stations' schedules. More than a dozen potential owners jockeyed for the license until the FCC finally said enough and forced them to pool their resources and get the station on the air. They did it in just 9 months.
We did some innovative local program, too much local programming. We wanted to do local live. We only had 8 people to do it. So we were one guy moving sets and another guy in audio and video, and it was a hectic time. But it was fun doing.
Comedy and humor, that sort of thing?
Yeah, we hope to have a lot of good times and fun and humor.
No, that's slapstick stuff, though, like getting hit in the face with a pie.
No, nothing as mundane as that.
Beautiful.
That's weekdays, 1 to 2. I do it. The marketplace. Don't miss it.
Hey, this is pretty good pie.
There's wonderful viewing on colorful Channel 9 television for you.
Before music videos, there was The Dance Party, spun each afternoon on Channel 9 by WNDR DJ Bud Ballou. It aired weekdays at 5, right after the Baron and his buddies, and the Baron would often sneak in for a bite.
Pleasure to be here, Blood. No, wait, I want to talk to you about this for a long time.
Yeah.
Bud.
What?
Bud Ballou.
Oh, your name?
Yeah.
Yes, all right, Blood. What a lovely neck you have.
I would come on as a special guest as Baron Deon, and while the teenagers were dancing, I would run out into the middle of the dance floor and grab one of the young girls and pick her up and carry her off.
The Baron's most loyal fan, Monster Man Dan Phillips, recorded sound from one of those appearances on an old reel-to-reel tape recorder as he watched at home.
You know what I noticed here, Bud? There's a lot of lovely necks out here today, isn't there?
Girls out there, yeah?
Yeah.
It's a lot of them.
A lot of ghouls.
Why don't you, go over and visit them?
Really? No.
It's a Bud Ballou, but he supplies the kids in the audience, the girls. He'd go in and grab them, carry them out the thing, and they all start screaming. Of course, they all look forward to it because they all knew he did it.
He always had a red fountain pen, and he'd put a couple of dots on her neck and pretend he was biting her neck. Give her a sweatshirt that said Baron Deon.
Hey, what are you doing?
And then I'd say to her, I'd say, now when you go back in there, act as if you're a little bit weak, from loss of blood, a little bit anemic now. So then they would always play along and stagger back in there like, oh, the Baron picked me right here. Yes, all right, my dear.
Consider, if you will, one Baron Deon, a relic of television's golden age, a black and white character in a technicolor world.
I said black and white, you gumble brain, not black and blue.
By 1963, rock and roll had a grip on America's teens, so the Baron headed into the recording studio. Ad writer Hovey Larison and composer Mike Raposo adapted Sam and the Twisters' hit Fooba Wooba John. The band played backup, the Big Tree Sisters added vocals, and the Transylvania Twist became a Central New York classic.
Grab a hold of your baby, hold her tight, 'cause Baron Deon is flying tonight.
I don't think we took over 3 takes on our behalf to do it. See, it was reasonably close to Fubu with John. And then we watched the Big Tree Sisters do it. And we all got into the hand clapping and Mike doing the special effects, you know. That was very amusing.
It was distributed within about a 40, 50-mile radius of Syracuse, within our viewing area, that's all. And at different times people said, oh, we think we could go regional with that, or maybe even national, it would catch on. But the company, you know, they footed the bill and put up the money for it, and they didn't want us, all they wanted it to do was to promote what we were doing on the air at the time.
I'd say go to dancing, we'd have a ball, we'd never get back to you at all.
I'm telling you, there was times when we made appearances, you would think the Beatles were there. I mean, over 5,000 people in some instances.
The single sold over 12,000 copies, becoming the best-selling local record ever. It still is. And the Transylvania Twist is still a top request every Halloween all around Syracuse. Copies of the single now sell for $100 and more on eBay.
They are? You want to see a grown vampire cry right here? Because at one time, I had almost a closet full of them. They came in little boxes of 50 in a box, and I must have had 10 or 12 boxes of those. And I just gave them out to people, friends and relatives and people that I knew or anybody that would ask for them. And now I have 2. That's all. There's 2 left.
You're watching the Baron Deon Halloween Fright Fest on the News Channel 9.
With the biggest hit of his career, the Transylvania Twist, behind him, Baron Deon's star was fading fast. Hangers-on encouraged his bloodthirsty addiction, and the partying continued from sundown to sunrise. The Baron had the world by the throat, but his insatiable thirst for blood started to tear his fame apart. Women who once flocked to his side turned their backs on the batty legend.
One thing stands out above all of the rest. Oh, the Baron is stupid.
The press went for the jugular. Daemon's demons were driving a stake through the heart of his career.
Oh, Baron Deon, I fear he was, how shall I put this, dear guest? He just wasn't my type. In fact, I understand he was O negative.
After he had that hit record, something came over him. He changed. Face it, it got to the point that he was nothing but a bloodsucker.
I'd heard that you couldn't trust him, but I tried to make friends. But when I put my thumbs at the corners of my mouth like this, he bit them.
When we return, the Baron's wings are clipped.
Transylvania Twist, yeah, big hit, huge hit. Don't get me wrong, Baron Deon, great guy, everybody in the business loves him, but I think it was a lip sync job. I've looked at the tapes, the man was not singing.
Oh, dear guest, do not be alarmed.
Baron Deon wasn't the only spook in the neighborhood.
Since we have been unable to control the wasting away, there is only one other possibility. I shall have to perform surgery and preserve all the V-power that we can.
Alan Malaire and Bill Everett welcomed their dear guests to Monster Movie Matinee, a Saturday afternoon staple on Channel 3 starting in 1964. E-Paul was Everett's real name, Lape spelled backwards. He was the trusted aide of the unseen Dr. E. Nick Whitty, mysterious host of Monster Mansion. At first, Malaire only showed a hand, intending to let viewers guess what his face looked like. But after a couple of weeks, they started worrying what reaction that contest might bring.
About a third of the people would laugh, a third of the people would yawn, and a third of the people would be gasping. And the odds were too great, so we decided to not show Dr. Whitty, and we never did.
The pair had staying power. They lasted 15 years on Channel 3 and another couple of years on New Channel's cable into the mid-'80s.
But it looked great, and the kids said they didn't care how really things looked. Apparently the dialogue was that they liked that dialogue. I could never understand it. The dialogue, if you read it in a script, you'd say, what's this stuff, you know?
And I shall endeavor to keep you entertained, dear guest, with this little narrative, The Unknown.
I'm trying to dig up an idea. Oh, I've got it. An old poem from the Transylvania Tome from many years ago. Little Jack Horner sat in the corner eating his piranha fish pie when he stuck in his thumb and pulled out a stump, and they called him Lefty. Wonderful, wonderful.
Legend has it that you need a stake through the heart to kill a vampire. But it was fire that did in the Baron. That burned me up.
The fire broke out in the station's Shoppingtown studios on a Saturday morning in April of 1967. It took firefighters 2 hours to battle through thick, toxic smoke and get to the blaze. Channel 9 and nearby stores suffered millions of dollars in damage.
That was something. No one still at this day really knows what really started it. Some people say it was the furnaces that were in the ceiling. Others say it was the contractors who were redoing the bank up overhead. They had just got finished.
While firefighters fought to bring things under control, station staffers pulled out everything they could save.
And I heard a voice or a sound like that. And so I closed my eyes and put a handkerchief over my mouth and crawled, frankly, in the smoke and in the dark. And I reached out, and I heard that voice, and I reached out. It was a fireman with a gas mask on. He said, "Get the hell out of here, you fool!"
Channel 9 was back on the air within 3 hours from WCNY's public TV studios in Liverpool, but the Baron never made it back. New management had been cool to the character, and ad sales were falling. The fire destroyed all the props, sets, and costumes, driving the final nail in the coffin.
I've been putting that costume on twice a day sometimes. And then with doing remotes and personal appearances, it'd be 3 times a day and sometimes 7 days a week. So after 5 years, I thought, well, isn't it terrible that it's going to go off? But I didn't really feel that bad.
You know what? We're going to present an award now to the Sammy Hall of Fame.
The first inductee. The first inductee.
The very first one into the Hall of Fame.
No one deserved it more than Mr. Jimmy Cavallo.
Jimmy Cavallo! Yeah!
Did I call you Baron or Mike?
Either one. That's all right. Oh, darn. The cat's out of the bag.
And now a message from one of the candidates in the race for the governor of Transylvania.
All right, all right. Thank you, you crazy ghouls and guys. Good evening, I'm Baron Deon, and I want to be your governor. Now, what this campaign needs is new blood. A candidate with some bite. What can you expect from a Daemon administration? Well, some candidates promise a chicken in every pot. I'll put you in a real stew. My opponents charge that I have no experience, no qualifications, no track record of leading people. To that I say, what better time than now? Now, let's get to my platform. Death to taxes. Oh, death. What a wonderful word. I love that word. So, vote for us because we have a real stake in this election. Ooh, stake. Not a good word for a vampire. If elected, you can depend on this. No candidate is more batty about Transylvania than I am.
The preceding was paid for by the committee to recall Baron Deon's candidacy. Why wait until it's too late?
The Baron and his buddies was on every weekday at 4 o'clock, and that's when we invited some of you cultured young people to come in and join the program and watch things live. And we had guests such as Mack and Meyer for Hire who would stop in, and Rocky and Bullwinkle with Natasha and Boris Badenoff, and also Flash Gordon. And I'm still trying to figure out, what did Flash Gordon have to do with Transylvania?
Trick or treat, Mike! This is Don't Feed the Actors improv comedy troupe. I'm Dustin, this is John, Mark, and Greg.
We're here at the Palace Theater on James Street, and to answer your question, we've dug up an old episode of Flash Gordon Conquers the Universe. All right, guys, Flash Gordon. This is a classic. It's been disappointing people for 3 generations.
Anybody bring the popcorn? Because that's going to be the excitement tonight.
My goodness, who wrote this? Dostoevsky? Meanwhile, on Naboo, they were preparing to defend from the Republic.
I think I've seen this before. Is this Star Wars Episode 1?
No, apparently it's...
Those are the Ewoks, aren't they?
Oh, this CGI stuff is fantastic. Whose idea was it to climb Everest in the winter time?
Come here, come
Here
here.
come the Sherpas. The Sherpas are attacking.
Oh, I've fallen. I'm falling. I'm falling. I
10,000
can't get up.
We just want to talk to you about your cable service provider.
I've got to destroy him. Ling won't forgive another failure.
When static electricity goes awry.
Get them some snuggle, man.
Ooh, that's going to leave a mark.
Ling will pay as much for Dale alive as he will for Zarkov. Explode the inhalant. Kill the girl? Oh, I've got a trick or two of that.
They don't learn the first time, do they? Don't touch the stick. Oh,
hey,
well, apparently
he's static free.
Oh, they want.
He's wrapped himself in fabric softener towels. He's safe now.
Flash! Flash, where's Dale? Dale? I don't know. All I could see was
You know, this would make a great drinking game.
It would.
The tracks, they've gone in that direction.
Every time you hear the word Flash, you have to go to a meeting.
You and the good doctor are on your way to the palace of Ming the Merciful.
Flash.
He's always wanted both of you.
This is the movie about the welder with a heart of gold who really wants to be a dancer?
No, it's too
That's Flash Dance.
We have no
This is Flash Gordon.
We'll return
I
for
got
it after we
confused.
deliver our prisoners and collect our reward. It's Ming's ship.
That is clearly a rocket ship.
Let's go after them in
That's why I love CGI. It cost $12 million to do that shot. And it looks like a real wire there.
You know, they had to put that in afterwards. They had to add the wire.
Well, obviously.
But there are only 2 lives. While on Earth, millions of people are facing death in the path of the Purple Plague.
The path
of the Purple Plague.
Now, I've got to take Polaroid to the Earth first.
Have to take Polaroid to the Earth for the path of the Purple Plague.
As it proceeds
Oh, poop.
to the planet of my home.
Paramount presents...
Look at all the people.
They're doing the electric slide, weren't they?
Yay.
Get us out of this
We
movie!
believe this may be due to the activities of Professor Zarkov.
From his undisclosed location,
Further news will be broadcast.
Dick Cheney has declared war on Venus.
We again beg you to remain calm in this crisis.
They should really fix that. It's been
I think it's
sparking
gonna
for
blow.
hours.
It is a submarine. Oh, okay, I'm getting queasy.
Why is he dropping it on Mount McKinley and not like Times Square?
Yes.
And a cherry.
The world will be waiting to give you and Professor Zarkov
The Nobel Peace Prize.
history of mankind.
No, Dad, I'm not coming back. Zarkov's not with me.
I have a date tonight.
We're taken prisoners by Ming. I don't know what's happened to them. Dale, my daughter.
Wait, did he just say they were taken prisoners by Ming? But
Wait,
he doesn't know
these
what
are the
happened to
2
them?
dads of Flash and Dale?
Yeah.
And they're running the world?
Yeah.
We elected a guy president who named his son Flash.
Good. Now we'll start back after Ming.
And now, meanwhile, in Dubai...
Legos. I made one of those out of Lego.
Mm-hmm.
I made one of those out of Lego, too. It didn't move quite as well. The Gong Show.
It is the Gong Show.
The prisoners will come closer.
Closer.
How did he know that? That's amazing.
Closer.
Is he a psychic?
Oh, close enough.
Welcome back to Mongo, Dr. Zarkov, and Pretty Dale. It is too bad that our friend Flash Gordon is not with us. I understand that he met with an unfortunate accident. Now that you're here, Doctor, you'll tell me the formula.
Now that you're here, Doctor, I'd like you to see if you can take some of the Botox out of my face so I can move it.
It matters not how you torture me, you'll never learn that secret.
I have an easier way of learning, Doctor. Captain Torch. Sir, you will return to Phrygia and bring back Dr. Zarkov.
That guy's antenna is so much better than everybody else's. I bet he gets great reception.
It shall be done, sir. You have a short time, Doctor, to decide whether or not you will help me in my conquest of the universe or meet such an amusing death which I may devise.
An amusing death.
Oh, go for amusing
tell
death.
Him a joke. Tell him another one, Ming.
My dear, you're lovely. More beautiful than ever.
Are you talking to the president or who?
His humor's kind of dry.
But he's smiling
Dry
now.
as death dust, you might say.
The girl dressed in garments befitting the wife of an emperor. I'm going to spin her down. Turn on a smoke screen so he'll think we're hit.
Oh, they're tricky.
Oh, turning on a dime.
But he was turning on the smoke screen, not turning on a dime.
Smoke screen's supposed to work inside the spaceship.
I wouldn't think it'd be effective that way.
No.
Thank goodness I brought along my ShamWow cloak.
That's not a ShamWow, that's a Snuggie.
Ah.
Oscar Mayer Wiener mobile takes revenge.
We've got to get to that ship. It's on fire.
Doesn't seem to be damaged much.
Smoky in here. They've been into the death dust again.
Flash, Gordon. A lie. Roger, disarm them. Tie them up.
Take their Snuggies away.
Tie them up. I don't think this is appropriate for family audiences.
I don't think his uniform's appropriate for family audiences.
What are you going to do?
Is that a ring or a gun?
I think it's one of those sucker rings, you know.
Actually, it's a blow pop.
Oh. Oh, him again.
He's scary.
Buckingham Palace after
I can't
the
see.
Queen.
Move out of my way. I can't see. There.
What have you done with Dr. Zarkov?
I have eaten him.
Refuse to accept the terms I offered him and must suffer the consequences. Look.
Oh, there he is.
He will be forced to watch the rest of this episode.
Did they take those for the Fortress of Solitude?
At least let me join him down there.
And lose the bride that I have waited for so long.
She loves him.
You can't have him.
She loves him. You can see it in her eyes.
Her body says no, but her eyes say yes. I'm going to bravely face down this flashlight.
He doesn't look amused.
It's Flash.
Oh.
Hey,
now go.
Now, flash him.
Don't fire.
No, don't fire.
Was he going to hose him down? What was that?
Those are those big Nerf guns. You're going to shoot Nerf balls at them.
The dangers of global warming.
Oh, I don't think I can strain against the plastic
Bring
anymore.
my shades.
My safe word is tomato. Tomato.
My Snuggie would
You
have put...
say
whoa,
tomato,
whoa,
I say
whoa.
tomato.
Ow. Tanning booth incident.
All right.
Ah,
Is this how babies are made?
Need copper tone.
All right, come on. What's he going to do? Oh.
But look, he survives. Flash Gordon conquers the universe.
Oh, hey, yeah. I thought he was supposed to be the good guy. Actually, Mike, we did figure out why Flash Gordon was appropriate. It's in the public domain.
Which means the station didn't have to pay anything. So, Mike, the price is right.
Don't go away. There's still more frightfully good fun coming up with the Baron and his buddies.
After he hung up the Baron's cape in 1967, Mike took on a variety of roles at Channel 9, both on the air and behind the scenes. He did weather and sports reports, emceed telethons, even hosted a morning talk show for a year. Then in the mid-1980s, Mike pitched an idea to station management, and a little good news for him meant a lot of good news for Central New York.
Instead of working as a general assignment reporter, would there be room to just have somebody that specialized in human interest and feature reports?
Whoa.
And he said, oh, you think you would like to try that? I said, yeah, I think that's my forte. I think that's what I can do best. He said, okay, let's try it for a few days and see how it goes.
It went pretty well. Mike's Good News feature left viewers smiling for more than 20 years, an era that coincidentally saw the station's news ratings grow from third place to first. Mike knew there were a lot of stories that fell through the cracks about decent people who wouldn't otherwise make headlines.
Did you learn a lot this year?
Yeah.
Mike was especially fond of reporting on the achievements of school children from all over central New York. And those kids were especially fond of him.
There's something magic about being on television, and it's telling your family and your friends, hey, I'm important, I did something great. And Mike's stories have always been so positive in a world where we've had so many negative things happen. He's been the shining light and the positive moment for all of us.
The kids that I work with, especially the elementary school kids, and that's mostly what I do the stories with, they're a lot of fun to work with, and they're cute. And I've never gotten bored with it. I've always enjoyed working with the kids. Yeah.
Mike also made some news of his own. He served for many years with the U.S. Coast Guard Reserve, including a stint on active duty with the Joint Combat Camera Unit during the Gulf War. He was activated at the age of 53. And in 2001, Mike decided to tell the story of his own open heart surgery.
Every day I feel a little bit stronger, feel my strength coming back.
He came through with flying colors and has inspired countless other heart patients since then.
I love this community. I love this city. I love Central New York.
And Central New York has found a lot of ways to return that love. Mike's been honored by the Syracuse Press Club with both a Career Achievement Award and a plaque on the Wall of Distinction at the Mulroy Civic Center.
I think I'll call it a wrap. I think I've contributed something to our community and to our society here locally.
Here we go, kids, let's go.
And makes me feel great, and it's very gratifying when people will come up to me almost every day and say, oh, we love what you do. You have the best job in the world. People say, I wish I had your job.
Oh my goodness, look out, whoa, hey.
And I've had a lot of fun doing it. It's been a lot of joy for me, so I'm gonna miss it, yeah.
You know what, there's only one problem with this job that I have. I don't have enough fun.
And when he retired after 46 years at News Channel 9, hundreds of his fans turned out to celebrate his career at Onondaga Lake Park.
We hereby proclaim the 9th day of July 2008 as Mike Price Community Recognition Day.
Oh,
congratulations.
Thank you. Oh, Joni, thanks very much.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Thanks to all of you. If it hadn't been for you folks, I would have had to go out and get a real job.
Okay, this is Mike Price, also known to Channel 9 viewers and people throughout the Central New York area as Baron Deon.
Mike was the last original employee at News Channel 9. He first came to work a week before the station signed on in September of 1962. Over all those years, he's been a mentor and a friend to generations of Channel 9 employees. Service like that calls for some very special recognition.
Cakes get eaten and the laptops become obsolete at some point. But every night when we come into the studio to do the news, we're going to be thinking about you because this is now officially Mike Price Studio here at News Channel 9. Yep.
Thank you very much.
And we will be proud to come in.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. You're the best, Mike.
You know,
one of the things that's made this job so pleasurable and so nice is the people that I work with here. Everybody that's out there in the studio right now, in Mike Price Studio.
Yep. You like that, huh?
That sounded, yeah, I like the sound of that, yeah. Thank you very much, thank you. Oh, thank you.
I'm coming over a little closer.
A little closer? We always did like to get closer.
We'll make you feel so young. We'll make you feel that spring has sprung. We'll take you back to childhood days when all of us were TV visitors. Look what we gave you. Look what we saved you. You helped a dream survive. Hey! Yeah!
Look at this, a little touch up here. You know, Boris, when I flew over Greece, I didn't have time to land and get the Grecian formula, so I had to settle for our own Transylvanian formula, Boris. You know, if you and I and Very Harry put our heads together, I think we can do it. It's been 35 years, but I think we can put a comeback together here, Boris. It's going to be quite an undertaking, though, Boris, but Oh, that's one of my favorite words. Here I am as a contestant on Transylvania Idol. Oh, I've always wanted a chance at this, and I'm going to perform before the three judges here. Two of my favorites, Boris and Very Hairy, and some English fop in the middle there. I'm not so sure about him, but here goes nothing here, guys. Are you ready? I wish I'd had time to rehearse. One of my favorite words, hers. Day-o, day-o, daylight come and I want to go home. Oh, hurry up, Boris, and carry me a zombie. Daylight come and I want to go home. I hear you can order them from Fitch and Abercrombie. Daylight come and I want to go home. Day-o, day-o, daylight come and I want to go home. Well, judges, what do you think, huh? Boris? All right, Boris, a good old pal, yes. Well, Very Hairy, what do you think, Very? Oh, no, he always does the same thing. He's never sure of anything. Well, what do you think, English fop?
It was ghastly. You're deadly. And batty.
Deadly, he said. A wonderful batty. I must be a winner. Thank you there, judges. Yes. Well, you know what, Very? Now it's time to take one of our calls, and we've got a call in from Dead Man's Bluff. All right, let's listen in to our first caller. It seems the lines, Very, have gone dead. Well, hello and welcome to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with your host, Baron Deon. Boris is our contestant this evening. Well, Boris, we're so glad you're with us for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Are you ready for question number one, Boris? All right, here it is. This is for one skull now, if you can remember. What is the 18th letter of the alphabet? No. Well, it's letters, Boris, not numbers. Oh, 18 is R, that's correct. Very good, Boris. Oh, what a bright little monster you are. Question number two. This is for 10 skulls, Boris. Are you ready? Now, what is the Transylvania chair at Transylvania Tech, Boris? Excellent, Boris. You're right. It's D. Hurrah! This is our last question for this evening. For 50 skulls, how do you prepare steak tartare? Oh, steak? I've got to be careful when I say words like that. How do you like it, Boris? Rare! That's right! Well, Boris, well done, Boris. Excellent. Yes, it was. Well done, Boris. Yes. No, I mean, rare was the correct answer. Boris, behave yourself. You would never have done this in the old days. Boris, you're a bad boy. Been around as long as I have. You have to stay up on the latest technology. That's why Boris and I are just getting ready to check our website. You know, it never fails. When Halloween rolls around, I hear from ghouls near and far who want to hear the song that's still the #1 best-selling single ever in Central New York. You guessed it, the Transylvania Twist. Hit it, Boris! You idiot! I meant the video!
Grab a hold of your baby, hold her tight, 'cause Baron Deon is flying tonight. If you see a weird shadow or hear a strange sound, scream your little heads off, the Baron's around. Yeah, that's right, he's loose tonight. What a sight. Yeah, that's right, I'm loose tonight. take her dancing, we'd have a ball. He'd never get back to you at all.
Yeah, he's cool, but way I'm cool. What a fool.
Yeah, I'm cool, a crazy cool. But I'm no fool. When I have a date, I'd like her to know all of my friends like fast domino. So I paint a corner for musical jocks to the cool spook box.
Then they'll do the twist Transylvania style, although she's screaming all the while.
So grab a hold of your baby and hold her tight because Baron Deon is looking tonight.
Yeah, that's right. She's loose tonight. Yeah, that's right. He's such a fright. Yeah, that's right. He's loose tonight. Yeah, that's right.
What do we have here? Oh, I hope you've enjoyed our little Halloween special. And to close things off, I thought I'd read you a special poem from the Transylvania Tome. Pay attention, will you, Barry? I'm going to recite here now. What a coincidence. I just happened to open to one of my favorites. It's Jack Sprat could eat no fat. His wife could eat no lean. So betwixt them both they starved to death and turned a sickly green. Kind of like you, Boris. Yes. Isn't that right, Barry? Well, on behalf of Barry, Harry, and Boris, my old buddies, and yours truly, thank you for being with us this evening, and have a frightful Halloween.
When I want to swing, I fly to Mars to take the sound of the ghost guitar. They dig this sound underground.